Okay, so keeping in the theme of self-defense, I want to talk about why I view self-defense different than the general public. And like on my last one of my last videos, I talked about Trayvon Martin. Um, his case basically that I thought it was justified if he was the first one to strike the first punch because and if you're put in a situation where your life is at risk, you really want to be the first one to take action because it just gives you an advantage. Like I said before, in the military, being ambushed is your worst enemy. That's why in guerrilla warfare, they have IEDs and IDF, indirect fire attacks, and roadside bombs and ambushes. It gives them such a great power when you don't see it coming. You don't have time to to think. You're just reacting, and most of the time it's just not the best decision. And you can actually see this in even elite soldiers, like in special forces, when they've been ambushed, they lose. Because it's the game changer. Being able to ambush somebody. Again, like I said in the fight, if you sucker punch somebody and you do it hard enough, you'll win a fight every time. Or if somebody sucker punches you and you don't get knocked out, I mean, it's tough to win. It's like I said, the person who attacks first usually has a great advantage, depending on if they follow through. But when it comes to self-defense, people always think the person who throws the first punch is the aggressor, is the attacker. Which is true most of the time. But I want to argue that you could throw the first punch in self-defense, and like, for example, law enforcement does this all the time. Anytime they feel that their life is in danger, they attack first. They don't wait for someone to attack them. And we say, for the most part, we tend to give them a pass. They say they feared for their life when a suspect has a weapon or something. They don't wait to it gets to the level where they get shot or hurt. They take action. But yet, when it comes to citizens, we don't have that same those same rights. And I'm gonna play this video that I've seen before, and I wanted to talk about this. This is an old video from New Mexico, and just look at how they twist the story, and then I'm gonna go back, get some commentary.
Unloaded with beanbags. That beanbag did not hit Patterson or the inmate he was fighting, but it was enough to end that fight after just a few seconds.
All right, let me rewind this and raise the volume because it's kind of low.
Gun loaded with beanbags. That beanbag did not hit Patterson or the inmate he was fighting, but it was enough to end that fight after just a few seconds. August 28th, just after 3 on a Wednesday afternoon, on the top left of your screen, Jake Patterson in the dark green jumpsuit is seen talking to another unidentified inmate. Prison records show Patterson told officials earlier that day an inmate wanted him to leave the pod and he would not be able to stay on the line due to his case. And while there's no audio with this video, the records add Patterson tried to plead his case and was willing to talk to whoever wanted him gone. But the other inmate in the video told Patterson to just leave and not test him.
Okay, I'm gonna pause right here. So far we have two inmates. One inmate's basically trying to bully the other inmate and tell him, hey, you gotta bounce. And the one who's being bullied, he's like, hey, can we talk this out? This is the scenario so far.
The conversation escalates as the other inmate moves in, but Patterson throws the first punch, and the struggle gets the attention of other inmates as well as a prison guard. When that guard aims a beanbag shotgun out his window, other inmates take cover as the guard fires a single shot. That shot misses both inmates, but it's enough to get them to break up the fight and hit the floor. Prison records also included black and white photos of Patterson after the fight, describing redness on his forehead and the knuckles on his right hand red and swollen.
Derek, what kind of discipline did Patterson receive?
He was moved to what's known as a temporary restricted housing until the outcome of this investigation. We know Patterson was moved to New Mexico from Wisconsin out of safety concerns. New Mexico officials are not even saying now which facility he's being held in New Mexico.
Okay, so they're basically making this dude, and I don't know anything about this case, but the guy, I guess, Patterson, who threw the first punch, they're making him look like he's guilty because he threw the first punch. You know, you throw the first punch in a fight, you're usually guilty. But yet the other guy is the one's bullying him, and he's also the one that he kind of made an aggressive move, you know. And they don't even name him; they don't put his name out there. And so that's what I wanted to say. It's in society. If somebody comes at you in an argumentative manner, put your hands up, and are you really gonna wait until they throw the first punch before you throw a counter strike? If you are, you're telling me either A, you're that good, you know, you're that good to dodge a hit and counter, or you can take a hit and you'll be able to take that hit and counter. And honestly, that's not the case unless you're like a really great, you know, athlete, like a pro boxer. Generally speaking, that ain't gonna happen. You're gonna get hurt, knocked out, or dazed. You're not gonna be able to really put up a good fight. Again, the person who throws that first punch is usually has the advantage. So if somebody's coming at you extremely aggressive, they're telling you their intentions, and like I said, and they're coming at you. Shouldn't it be self-defense when you throw that first punch, saying, "Hey, look, man, this person's coming at me. They're coming in my circle. They're letting me know their intentions. Yeah, I threw the first punch because they're coming in my circle. You know, it's still self-defense in my book. I would argue that's still self-defense because, like I said, do that to a police officer. Walk up to a police officer extremely aggressive and like you're gonna strike. See if they don't how that turns out. And 100% of the time, they're gonna be in the right because they're gonna say, look, this person's coming at me aggressive, and they're letting me know I'm not gonna let that happen. But yet, when it comes to citizens, we're like, oh no, you can't throw the first punch. You can't throw the first punch. I say, yeah, you can't throw the first. Of course you can. You know, and I would. I'm not gonna wait till somebody starts attacking me before I counter strike. Just my 2 cents, you know. And that's why I relate this to the Trayvon Martin case when even if he threw the first punch, he's walking home. It's dark. It's in the hood, a bad neighborhood, you know. He's being followed. You're gonna really wait until you find out what's going on. Somebody's following you. They close the distance, and again, all the scenario says, you know, attack. You know, and again, like most of the time in the fight, the first person to strike is gonna win. You know. If you really are not the one starting trouble and you feel like your life is at risk, are you really going to lose because you're more worried about what society deems is what you're supposed to do? I mean, like, do you want to survive or not? To me, I see it more as a survival. I could care less about what's right and wrong, and I care more about I'm just trying to live, man. I'm not trying to have anyone their way with me, like it be an easy target. Just something to think about. I always thought about that in when it comes to self-defense, about always strike first. Never do this never be reactive. Be almost like proactive, or like I said. But most of the time, again, I would avoid. Always avoid try to avoid this if possible. Like I used to work in a club setting, and I would always try to de-escalate, avoid stuff, just because I know what could happen. What could happen in a fight, and the thing is, there are no rules in a street fight. That's why I always tell people, it could go to the death. There's no referee. There's no people could pull out weapons. They could pull out whatever. They could knock you out and have their way with you. They could keep going. They could stop your head, and there are no rules. You could get jumped. You could who knows what could happen. So obviously, like I always avoided it if possible. But if you can't, if you feel like you can't avoid it, you want to have that advantage. The best advantage, the game changer is be first, man. Strike first. Just my idea, just on this. Share your thoughts.